We are now talking to Wisconsin cornerback recruit Al Ashford. What's going on, Al?
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Man, I'm not. Again, I told Chase I'm going to tell you I'm not much of a dancer right now, but I'm sitting here, I'm doing a radio show, and we're talking to you, man. You got a nice smile. I mean, that's a plus.
I appreciate it, man. I'm blessed to be on.
Absolutely. How are you and your family doing with this pandemic?
Man, it's definitely been tough on us being that my mom, works at the hospital. And we were blessed that both my parents were able to still continue to work. But as a family, man, we're strong, we're resilient. That's what we're based on. So, nothing's really gonna hold us back too much. We just had to spend more time at home.
Well, I will say this. I'm not a Badger fan, okay? When I heard you were coming on, Jillian told me, I got another Badger for you. And I said, oh, here we go. I'm going to be attacked. And there is somebody that listens to this show a lot. He's a huge Badger fan, and his name is Josh, and he's I'm sure he's going to listen to this interview because he's probably going to be a big fan of yours. He's a diehard Wisconsin Badger fan. So there you go, my friend. You got a lot of fans here in New York.
Yeah, I mean, my family's from New York. I grew up in Rochester, so I got a lot of fans back home.
There you go. Now, what is it like playing the quarterback position? Now, we've interviewed a lot of corner recruits, some of the top corner recruits in the country. Devin Kirkwood, the 13th or 14th ranked player in the country, one of the top corner recruits in the nation. We interviewed him. There's something about you guys, the spunk of you guys, the confidence of you guys. Could you tell me what is it about the corner position that really brings your personalities out?
Well, you see a lot about personality when you got to match up with a guy every play. One on one with another guy, and you got to beat him. So you see who's soft, you see who has heart, and you see who has real resiliency too. And I can't speak on other people, but with growing up, I was always a running back. Playing running back and receiver, safety, and then man, as I got into high school, corner just so happened to be a great position for me. Just fit me really well. So it was a blessing, man, to be in that spot. But you see, personalities really come out when you gotta get tested every play with this other guy. It's either beat him and everybody supports you, or lose and everybody boo you.
So you were telling me before we had you on, when I was setting you up, that you actually got to meet Champ Bailey as well as a couple other NFL corners, former NFL corners. So what were some of those experiences like? What were they like as people? Like, what did they teach you about the cornerback position? What were they like? What was just that whole experience of getting to meet those players, especially Champ Bailey, who's one of the best corners of all time?
Yeah, man, it definitely gives you some more insight into the position that you wouldn't have thought about. For me, early on it was just, go guard that guy. You make sure he don't catch a ball. And it developed to where I was able to really figure out a technique and really have an idea of how to maneuver in the position. So, getting to learn from Champ, he definitely opened my mind up to some things in the game that I wouldn't have thought about before, and stuff probably nobody thinks about. Man, he it's crazy getting to talk to him and learn from somebody like that. Because, man, I remember I was 7 or 8 years old, staying up at night watching, sneaking, trying to watch Monday Night Football because I got school the next day, seeing Champ Bailey lock some of the best people in the league up, So on top of that, I learned my cover two technique from Prince Amukamara. He definitely sat me down, and me and him was able to really talk about, how to maneuver in that position. And, me being that I was a little bit bigger than Prince and, really similar size-wise to a guy like Richard Sherman, he's able to get me connected with people, in similar spots like him, and just be able to talk about the position and how to maneuver and how to make plays, being a 6'1", 180 corner out of high school.
Wow. That's you're a pretty big corner, that's for sure. We are talking to Wisconsin cornerback recruit Al Ashford. Now, Al, there's a player that you were telling me, you were just saying that you were running back turned into a corner. There's a player that played against the Jets yesterday, Xavier Rhodes, that was a running back his whole high school career, even the first year of college, and they really put him to the cornerback position, and it changed his career, and he's one of the best corners. He's been one of the best corners in the league for the last 7-8 years. Do you see your style of play kind of like Xavier Rhodes? Do you play up top? Are you aggressive at the line of scrimmage? Or do you kind of step back and you want them to make a move before you make a move inside the position?
Well, I've been compared a lot to technique-wise to an Xavier Rhodes or Jalen Ramsey, being that I'm more comfortable in the press man position, but being a football player, I feel like you do yourself a disservice if you can't play everywhere. So me, I've been able to step into the secondary and play in the slot. I've been able to guard, number ones in anywhere on the field, if that's playing in the field, playing in the boundary. I've been able to move to free safety, strong safety, come down in the box. And I get compared to those guys a lot just because of the size, being that I've been bigger than most of the high school receivers I guard. A lot of people make that comparison. But then me being that I'm a student of the game, I also help coach a lot too. I coach 2 youth teams. A lot of people compare me to Richard Sherman just in that mental side of the game, being able to really talk football. And, me, I've always been a pretty confident guy. So everybody thinks, the prime times and the Jalen Ramseys get compared to me a lot, just saying like, I'm not scared to open my mouth up and talk about my craft.
Well, I will say this: you're probably the second of my favorite recruits that I've interviewed. We've interviewed some of the top 100 recruits in the country. Shout out to Jillian and Devin Kirkwood stood out to me. And Speedy told me before we interview you today. He says you're going to really like Al. He seems like a straightforward, funny guy, and he's right. I mean, your personality really stands out. You remind me. When I met Darrelle Revis, Darrelle Revis is a quiet guy. He's not as funny, but when you get to know Darrelle Revis and you talk to him, he could be a very, very funny guy. So you have that spunk to you, but you have a great personality, Al.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I feel like with me as a player, I kind of developed that mindset of being a smaller, undersized guy because, I was 5'8" my sophomore year. I jumped up to 6'1" and gained almost 50 pounds in a year.
Wow.
So my body had some crazy changes, and I learned how to really maneuver being a smaller corner so that when I grew, everybody else was like, man, you're not stiff-hipped at all. Like, you can move. And then on top of that, I was a track kid. So I just got off of going to the Junior Olympics for track.
Wow.
And, man, everybody's like, yo, you're a 4'4", 6'1", 180 corner in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a weird spot, body wise, where people were like, you don't maneuver like another 6'1" corner. Some people would say, it hindered my recruitment, but I gave it to God. I feel like, everything fell into place where I was supposed to be, and I'm excited.
Well, you're a Badger, so I'm not happy about that. I wish you were somewhere else. But I like you personally, and I think I'm going to root for you because I think your personality it stands out. And we've talked to so many different personalities, but your personality stands out. I just think the confidence level. You do remind me of a Jalen Ramsey, but not. Jalen Ramsey is a little soft spoken. He says some crazy stuff. I mean, he says some crazy stuff.
Though.
Yeah,
He is funny, but he says some crazy stuff. I mean, go ahead, Speedy.
So you were talking about track. So you also. How do you think that helps you with your football? What kind of events do you do within track as well? Do you do a variety? Is it one sprint event? Is it a great variety? And again, how much do you like it and how much do you think it'll help your play at corner?
Well, I'm a sprinter. I'm a 100, 200, 400 guy. And I was actually recruited by a lot of Division I schools to go run track. So, I've talked to the Wisconsin staff about me running track when I get there. And, man, as far as being able to transition to getting into a backpedal and turning and sprinting with guys, I was able to really develop a talent where I could get beat off the line, but in 2 yards, I'm back on his hip. So I really had to develop a real technique and learn how to play without just being more athletic than everyone else, So track definitely was, I think, was a huge part of my development. And I give it to my folks for that one, man. They love track and field. Track is our thing.
I was a track and field runner too. I was too.
Say that again?
I was a track and field runner too. Ran the 200 meters. I ran it when I was in high school, but that was a long, long time ago. I'm a lot older than you. I ran the 200 meters in 20 seconds flat. I have the school record still to this day. I ran the 4x4 relay. I didn't run the hurdles. I didn't like to jump.
I feel you on that one.
But Ashton Davis, I mean, he's successful. He came to the NFL. He was a track and field runner. He doesn't even have the experience you do as a player, as a football player, all the way to a track and field runner. So there's no question that you can succeed running track and field in college and playing football. I think you made the right choice because you're going to make more money playing football. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And on top of that, I feel like with people in track, you kind of get to tell who might be an Olympic type guy pretty early. You know, so me knowing I was fast, but I'm not Olympic fast. So, you know, I was able to tell, you know, when it was my time to kind of not make my exit, but really focus on one sport, you know. Because I grew up, I even played AAU basketball. I did the Nike EYBL circuit, playing AAU ball for a long time, you know, traveling every weekend, going out of state, just playing a bunch of basketball. And then, you know, made the decision where I wanted to, you know, really start to focus on a certain set of sports. So I just really focused on football and track. You know, they kind of go hand in hand.
So you were mentioning youth football earlier. You coach a couple of youth football teams. So what is that experience like, and how do you think how do you think it's different from when you played in youth football?
Man, let me tell you this. So I coach a 4th and 5th grade team called the Junior Bruins. We gave up 2 touchdowns in 4 games. We run the same defense I ran in high school, and my corners got 6 interceptions already.
Impressive.
Now listen to this. My corners and safeties are playing cover 3 and cover 4 and reading 3 to 5 step drops on quarterbacks, disguising. They're picking balls off, yelling Oski, and scoring.
Wow.
Like, we're not just picking them up, we're scoring. So I have parents coming up to me every weekend saying, "What are you teaching kids?" And I'm saying, I'm teaching them what I know. And so we have film sessions. I get film sessions for my little guys. Man, I'm discussing technique and like, what are you doing here? Where are your eyes? Where are we reading? You know, we're in cover 4. We're playing match cover 4, 4th and 5th graders. These are 9 and 10-year-olds. Man, I got guys playing man coverage, passing guys off in inside leverage and being able to still get eyes back to quarterback and make plays. So my guys get to the point now where they grade themselves so heavy, they'll come up to me and tell me what they did wrong.
That's awesome.
Like, man, coach, you know, I only had he did a 3-step drop, so I knew the route was gonna be a shorter route, but I opened up for the fade ball. That's why he caught the dig on me. I'm like, it's good. I got 9-year-olds telling me this. So I got parents like, what? Like, how do you? I remember one time somebody was talking about me as a football player and saying what I wasn't. They're like, oh, he's a great athlete. He just doesn't understand mentally in the game.
Yeah, right.
So I took personal vendetta against that and said, well, I will know everything about this game that I can. So it's to the point now where they almost call me Coach Al with my guys on my team. I'm walking up to guys and grading their own technique and saying like, hey, grade mine. Tell me what I could do better too. Because at the end of the day, that's how we going to get great.
Now you got to teach the parents.
Yeah, man. Shoot. It's, you know, and it's what I love to do, man. You know, my dad told me this. He said, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. So even though some people be like, man, you going a little overboard with the kids. I'll be like, man, when they get to high school, get to even middle school, and the coach sees that he's playing cover 3 and man technique like this, like he can play cover 4. We're playing cover 0 and forcing guys outside, making like, kids aren't making plays on us.
It's crazy.
You know,
it really
is. And it's crazy area who just want to learn.
I think that knowing you as a person, that maybe you found something that when you're done with football, even playing college football, even playing professional football, you could become a coach. Oh, yeah. And that's a good thing.
I got strength and conditioning coaches from schools that recruited me telling me like, hey, if you don't even come here, like even now that I'm not going to some of those schools, to any of those schools, if you want a job in the strength and conditioning department, we got you. I got coaches telling me if you want to get a GA job here when you're done playing, like we got you. And that's not normal conversations recruits are having with people.
You got a good personality.
Me, like definitely got the personality for it. But I think just being able to really understand the game and to be up under guys who can really show me the ropes of coaching, you know, even the politics side of it, I think that'll just expand my mental side of the game even more.